Yo, what is up, guys? So we're going to be checking out the Gokis. Not the Gokis with the whole Link archetype. We're just talking about Gokis, the ones that don't have the U in their name. But anyways, thanks Gleam for sending this in. It's a deck that I was originally going to try to showcase off because I like to show every single deck, no matter how good it is. But this deck, I think, is just too early on, as you guys will see. There's not very many cards in the archetype. They seem to all have the artwork of Goki, which is actually a McDonald's card. I mean, you know, the Infernities, when they first came out, they were like 25 cents. No one wanted them, alright? But sometimes, randomly, they give some insane support. Now, obviously, Goki does not have any good support. Well, I mean, like, there's things that are for insects, which is what the deck is all about. As you guys just saw, he just brought some 3 insects from the deck, which is one of the best cards. Then we have the Inzektor to reset some of your combos and actually draw another card. And I'll talk a little bit about the deck, but I think that sometimes a deck comes out and we don't have all the support for it yet, so it's not ready. But I mean, looking at that, I was like, dude, is this deck like legit? I mean, he went for a Link play, he summoned Monster, he equipped 3 other cards, gonna boost it up. Kind of was like, okay, this deck maybe has some potential. The best card that the deck has, and this is gonna be the downfall of this deck, dude. Quintet Magician, just too strong. And the reason why is it cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is kind of important in this deck, because he doesn't have options. He needs to put rank 4s in here, because, well, as you can see, we definitely needed to go for something to go over this. The easiest target is like a Utopia. Heck, this card, it cannot be tributed and it cannot be destroyed by card effects, but you can still Cassell this thing to the Shadow Realm. But the whole archetype, or the whole deck, I don't know if Goki is going to be the archetype, but anyways, Giant Ball Park is their best card. So anyways, it's the field spell, and it says during damage calculation, you can have neither player take any battle damage from that battle, then send a level 4 or lower insect monster to the graveyard. If it's a normal one, you get to special summon all copies of it from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is pretty good. There's another card called Dozer, which is pretty nice. It's a card where you just banish 2 insects to special summon it, and when it inflicts battle damage, your opponent sends 2 cards from their deck to the graveyard. But at the end of the day, this is like the big problematic card because, well, the big boss monster, his effect, you guys saw him earlier where he got summoned. I'll talk a little bit more about it when we go and talk more about the Goki archetype. And again, we're not talking about the Gokis, the Link archetype, because that's something completely different. But anyways, the whole archetype is, I don't know if I want to call it archetype again. I don't know yet, but it seems like they're all using Goki as the artwork on the cards. We even have Goki Pole. But anyways, it has another effect where if a monster you control is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon a normal insect monster from your graveyard, which you'll more likely have. There's also a pretty decent card called Spider A that lets you special summon 3 tokens and it negates an attack. Okay, gives you some stuff to follow up potentially with next turn. And also you have access to, of course, Link Rebo after you've already gotten a few of those. Instead of making a Bellcat fighter, it's supposed to give him some tokens, but that's just going to get banished because, you know what this guy's going to do with no monsters left on the field. But Goki Pole is actually kind of an interesting card. It lets you search out a card, and then if it's sent from the deck to the graveyard, you get to add a level 4 insect monster from your deck to your hand. And if you add a normal monster, you just special summon it. It was an okay little card. But anyways, I want to talk a little bit more about the archetype for a second here. So, this was the boss monster that you guys saw that equipped all the cards. I was thinking, whoa, what does this guy do? Even though I probably made a video on it like a week or 2 ago. But I remember looking at the archetype because I wanted to build the deck because I wanted to try out everything that's new. But this one, I think it's too early on, as you guys saw. And no disrespect to Gleam here, but I just think that not only is his build a little bit subpar, but I think that the whole archetype is not ready to be really played here. But anyways, this guy over here, the super armored weapon, Black Iron C, is the card that you guys saw that equipped everything. So you have to have 3 insect monsters with the same name in your graveyard. Obviously, that's pretty easy because this card lets you just send 1 and then you special summon all 3 of them. Really insanely good effect. By the way, if you guys want to know where Goki actually came out in a McDonald's pack. But this card over here, the Inzektor Link monster, which you can go for after, of course, you special summon the 3 monsters. Granted, that is if your opponent does not get rid of all of them. Maybe, they attack you with 2 monsters, so the first monster dies because this does not prevent the first monster from being destroyed by battle. You just take no battle damage. But then you get to summon 3 monsters, and maybe they attack over 1, whatever. Okay, you go for the Inzektor Link monster, you recycle your engine, draw 1, and then you have a Link monster with 2 Link arrows. Not too bad for a start of a combo-based deck. But let's say, like, you have this on board, you have, obviously, this in your hand. So having 3 insects, you can just straight up special summon it, and it has a pretty decent effect. So when you summon it, you get to equip all those monsters from the graveyard to it, and then you get to send 1 monster that this card is that it's equipped to this monster. And you get to destroy all monsters your opponent controls whose attack is higher than or equal to the attack of the monster sent to the graveyard. And that can actually help out if the monster is actually lower. So that's why perhaps there are actually, if we go to insects, there's other insects with like a little bit more attack. But like you actually do want low attack because you want to be able to pop everything that has more attack than the equipped monster. So actually, hold on, let me show you guys. So we'll go to normal, and then we'll go to, it doesn't really matter what the type there are. Well, actually, the type has to be insect, but I meant attribute. Anyways, there are other targets. Let me go to level 4 over here, and I'm pretty sure they sort it by attack. GOKIBOR is one of the lowest. Technically, Kamakiri Man would be a better target, but no monster is really going to have over 12. I don't know if you just play this because, again, it's the artwork on Gokipole, and it's also the artwork on Giant Ball Park. But anyways, so yeah, you actually do want a lower monster, so you get to pop the board. Okay, it's a really simple concept, and I honestly could make it a real easy video, but there was a few cards that he actually played that I thought were a little bit interesting. I wouldn't have considered this card at all. Let me go to a much better card, Scapegoat. I think it's much better. It's not triple in the TCG. Anyways, you get 4 tokens, and you don't have to have those triple insects, and it gives you an additional card. Obviously, you're activating this during your opponent's turn. Anyway, so theoretically, I mean, since you are blocking 1 attack, it's almost the same, but this is still conditional that you'd have to at least use 1 of these first. I just think Scapegoat is a little bit more versatile, but that's my personal opinion. And I also think you should probably play some rank 4. Specifically, Castel can be very important. Obviously, Utopia would have helped you out in that duel. But anyways, like I was saying, going back before. So if you have this Inzektor, you have the Super Armor Robon, and it has 3 equips. You know, and I was even thinking like, yo, dude, I just put Mage Power. I think that's just 2k attack, right? Mage Power. Oops, Mage Power is 2 words. I mean, you can throw a double Mage Power on this thing, yo, and you have 3 equips. All right, that's a lot of attack. Okay, that's gonna be a boost up of 5,000 attack, and obviously with that, that's pretty much gonna be game with just this. And then I guess if you use 1 card and blow up something, then you're gonna have 4k additional attack, which that's still what's it? You'd have 4k. That'd be 6,400. And then 7,400, and then just summon any 1 monster, and you should be able to make a game. There's also some draw power in the deck. Like I mentioned before, the Inzektor will give you some additional draw power. And then you also have Dozer, which you summon it by banishing 2 monsters. But if you're gonna have like Dozer, this card, and then double Mage Powers, I mean that's basically like a 4-card combo. Even though I mean like the initial combo getting the Inzektor out, that's super easy. It's just 2 insect monsters, which you can do with the field spell. But you know what I was thinking that would make this deck a little bit better is creature swap. Someone let me know if this doesn't work with the Giant Ball Park, but I'm thinking like, because like the damage doesn't matter, the monster still gets destroyed by battle, right? You just have a monster when it's destroyed by battle, it gains some type of effect, and then you just go ahead and continue your combo from there. Then we're looking at a much better play, because on top of you taking your opponent's monster, you leave them with nothing, and you get an additional like bonus effect. Whatever it is, the case may be, whatever, Sangan, a lot of these other cards that during the end phase you can get an effect, or search, or special summon, search, add a card, draw a card. I mean, there's so many monsters in this game, right? They'll let you do something when it's destroyed by battle, or just even sent to the graveyard in general. You'll still get that bonus effect. And that would be pretty cool. And you could send 1, and then you get triple monsters out, and then you'd have 4 monsters, and then you just attack them with everything, because this does not prevent battle damage for the turn. It's just that specific battle. Heck, you can even crash something smaller into your opponent, and then you'd still have this card and everything else, right? As long as, obviously you can run over the other monster, you would still have 3 additional monsters, so you can see where I'm going with this. You can OTK quite easily. However, putting in the Nightmare card, that's much better for the Goki archetype that is the Link archetype that I'm sure everyone has seen, the warrior guys. Whereas this one, it's all like the new insect support. I don't know if I want to call it the Goki insects or really what to call this deck. But yeah, Goki Pull also lets you search out a thing. Also, being able just to send that monster to the graveyard can actually be advantageous if you are an OCG player, because, well, you guys got Max C. Retaliating C is another card where it has an effect where if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to add a Earth Insect monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand, except for itself. However, we unfortunately do not have Max C, which actually would improve this deck a lot, not only for more insect counts for, of course, these other cards, but obviously it's a pretty dang good card to prevent your opponent perhaps from going in it too hard, because the problem that I think this deck has is, like, at the end of the day, you're still summoning vanilla monsters, but obviously when it goes back to your turn, it can be much better off. Going back to, like, perhaps fixing this, like, I have no idea why the heck this is in here. If you want to explain that, Gleam, you can let me know in the comments, but thanks again for sending this in. But I just don't think you need this many insects. I think that because this card will recycle your entire engine, I really don't know why you are playing these. I mean, maybe you could try to D6. I just feel like the other card is unnecessary. I feel like this is pretty decent because they have 2000 attack, and I understand having a low attack one. Perhaps not this one, perhaps the 11 Kamakiri Man would be better. Again, in the off chance that something has 1200 attack, it would technically be better because that would allow this card to pop everything. But anyways, that is the Goki Insect Archetype in action. I think it's a little early on, but, you know, sometimes people can think of really cool things. Oh, by the way, there's a card, I don't think I mentioned this, but there's a card called Wormbait. If you control Insect, you get 2 double tokens. Now, it does have a downside where you cannot normal or special summon any level 3 or 4 monsters the turn you activate this card. Obviously, if you're not using this because it's your turn, you use this last turn to special summon your monsters, then you go ahead and go like Doom Dozer, double tokens. Obviously, you can see where the combos can go. But if you wanted to make a Nightmare deck, I think the other Goki deck just is much better. This deck can definitely OTK quite easy, and heck, I could just make it like real fast. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really do anything like too out of the ordinary, other than it gives you, again, like 3 monsters, which could be good, but it's still insects and they're still vanillas at the end of the day. Again, I have no idea why this is here. I would just drop this card, honestly, but that's my take on the Goki, or the newer insect support. I think is really what all this really comes down to. This card is insanely cool. And also, there's a problem with this card. I wanted to mention this real quick. I think if the Super Armored Robot Weapon Black Iron C, if it had it as a quick effect where it can detach like a material that's attached as a back row, maybe this is all supposed to be like Inzektor stuff. But like I said, it's all Goki artwork. But if this had its effect as a quick effect, oh my gosh, this would actually be like a viable deck. But the deck does nothing to threaten your opponent, and that's, I think, the biggest problem that this deck has. It does not stun, it does OTK, but it requires, it's a little bit slow. Like, that's just the way I see it. Again, maybe Creature Swap can make this deck a little bit faster, but anyways, you guys can let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section below. What do you think of the new Insect support slash Goki? I mean, we've got like, what, 4 cards right now? But it's new, so people want to see it, and that is the new insects and Gokis in action. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and thanks again, Gleam, for sending this in, even though I think the deck is not ready yet. Hopefully they'll come out with new support, and the whole insects will be much, much better. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to see more Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos. And also, if you're like, yo, I got an amazing Goki or insect, you know, replay, hey, send it in, because at the moment, I just don't think they're ready, but who knows? Maybe some of you guys will think of some crazy deck ideas with some of the stuff that you just saw over here. I don't really want to make this a deck profile video, but, you know, we'll just talk about it. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I am signing out.